Hey guys, Ashton here from Ashton's Outdoor Adventures, and I have not one, not two, or three, but 4 new shells for the collection. The large one on the left-hand side, I already did a video on, but I got 3 more, so I decided I'd do something else. I'll just take that one shell video down, and I'll just pretty much redo it with these 4. Okay, I got 4 shells right here, and all 4 of them were given to me. Other than me finding them somewhere at a gun range or something. But this one, and these 3, except for this one, these 3 were given to me by business owners, so I'm going to do 3 sponsorships in this video. This one was just given to me by my uncle, so that one we'll just do the video with. But these 3 were given to me by business owners, so at the end we got 3 sponsorships to do. Okay, first up is this one. We are going to do a size comparison with it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is I showed this to 3 servicemen. I showed it to a friend of mine's dad, which to this present day is an Air National Guard. He said it weren't the 20mm he thought it was. He didn't even know what it was, but it was old. I showed it to a retired Vietnam veteran that was in Vietnam, and he said it's some heavy artillery from World War II. It is dated 1943, so that is World War II era. Then, last but not least, I showed it to a retired Marine, and he said the same thing. These probably are not used anymore, maybe on some warships, but this is a World War II round, probably not common anymore. But I'm not going to talk too much. Let's get to some size comparisons. First up, 50 BMG. That's something already. Second, 300 Win Mag. And third, 30-06. This is the end of the 50 BMG, and that just ridiculous. You could lose 50 BMG casing in the 20mm casing. 2 3/4 inch 12 gauge. Crazy, huh? Okay, for you viewers out there that don't really know much about firearms or not into the hobby, that is a 12 fluid ounce can of Pepsi. Okay, I think you guys get the idea how big and ridiculous this heavy artillery shell is. Now let's move on to the next one. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to comment what you guess this shell is. Okay, it isn't 12 gauge. It isn't 16 gauge. It isn't 20 gauge. It ain't 10 gauge. This is the almighty 3.5 inch 8 gauge. Yes, I can picture somebody in the comments. How do you know it's 8 gauge? It only says Remington Industrial on it. It don't say 8 gauge anywhere on it. Well, I've compared it to an identical shot shell that does say 8 gauge on it, and it is the same thing. If you still don't believe me, I'll show you some size comparison so you can't deny it. 8 gauge, 3.5 inch, 2 3/4 inch, 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 20 gauge. Okay, maybe you're a stubborn believer. Let me show you some more comparisons. Starting left from right, that's a 2 3/4 inch, 16 gauge, 3.5 inch, 8 gauge, 3 inch, 410. Okay, this is the last thing I can use to convince you. This isn't a 10 gauge. 3.5 inch, 10 gauge. Okay, I think you got the point. Let's move on to the next shell. 375 H&H Magnum. 300 Win Mag. 30-06. 45-70. Left from right, 30-06, 375 H&H Magnum, 300 Win Mag, 45-70. .444 Marlin. .44 Magnum. All this 444 Magnum really is, it's like half of a 444 Marlin. You might have realized the jacket's a little damaged is because I tried to remove it. 4570. As you should be able to tell over here in the shade, they're the exact same height. As you can see though, 4570 has a bigger diameter. Literally, 44 Magnum is a small 444 Marlin. I think that's just why they added the extra 4 to the name. Okay, that's going to be it for today's video. I'll leave the sponsorships in the end of the video. Before I do that though, I have a quick question. If any of you have any idea what this large 20mm World War II era shell is, feel free to comment in the comment section down below. First up is going to be the sponsorship for the 20mm, then the sponsorship for the 8 gauge, and then the sponsorship for the 375 H&H Magnum, and pretty much just shout out to my uncle for the 444. Okay, right before you see the sponsorship, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It took a lot of effort. Thank you, like and subscribe, bye-bye.